always love hip-hop. Keep it flowing like a river, so I drip drop. Verses and bars, we eating dinner with the stars. Excuse me while I float away, my brain is on Mars. Cause it's the Big Kids Podcast with Chris Williams. Sit back, relax, like your spliff, we in the building.
This is a call out to Artem the Fanny, Fairly Pad, Lobov. I'm challenging you to a fight tonight, 10:30 p.m. I'll meet you down at SBG Concord and we'll fight for the whole lot. Going through having lawyers message me about defamation and all this soon and all. You're a little blouse, mate. I'll see you at SBG Concord tonight, 10:30 p.m. and I'll fight you for the whole lot, yeah? Answer this fucking call out, yeah? You little blouse.
Welcome to the Big Kids Podcast. Now, I can't lie to you guys. I don't exactly know what the fuck is going on between Artem Lobov and Conor McGregor, but Conor's pretty pissed. I guess he's getting sued. It has something to do with Proper 12 whiskey. And in all honesty, if I was Conor McGregor, I would feel some sort of way towards Artem my damn self. And the funny thing is, he's not playing about meeting and fighting. He's like, if there's one thing about Conor McGregor, I think he goes a little too WWE, and he oh, excuse me, shit. One more. Okay, we're done. Oh, whoa. I think he goes a little too WWE sometimes, but at the end of the day, that man's ready to scrap. You know, if he loses, he'll make some excuses for why he lost, but he's not afraid to fight. So, honestly, Artem probably should count his blessings. I feel like this is one of those situations where, in terms of Proper 12, you may or may not be due some extra money. You know, Conor may owe you some shit, but if it wasn't for Conor, nobody would know who the hell you are in the first place. That's just the God's honest truth of it. You know, nobody would know a guy with a sub 500 MMA record if you weren't Conor's boy for a while. So I think you need to count your blessings, and I feel, I don't know, Conor's a bit of a loose cannon, but I feel like if you approached him because you needed a business opportunity or you needed something, I'm sure if you approached him the correct way, that could be taken care of. Sending him lawsuits and having your lawyer contact his lawyer. Listen, I can tell you right off the bat, I know he takes that shit fucking very personal. You could just tell. This man said, meet me at the gym tonight and we'll fight this shit out. And if you beat me, you could take the whole lot. I think that's what that means. Sometimes it's a little difficult to decipher the exact meaning of Conor McGregor's words, but I think that's got to have something to do with it. And if I was Artem, I don't know, maybe the best thing for you to do is to fight Conor McGregor. Probably gonna get your ass kicked, but I don't know, maybe an ass whipping's not the worst thing to happen. Tyron Woodley fucking got his ass beat by a YouTuber, and he gets to be all over the fucking place giving his analysis on boxing and MMA and all that other shit nowadays. So, you know, maybe an ass whipping wouldn't do you any bad. Might do you actually some good. So I don't know. I just saw that while I was taking a shit before I came on here, and I thought that would be a great way to start the show, especially given I really don't got much to fucking talk to you guys about. That's why I wasn't here last week. I didn't have much to talk to you guys about, and I've been doing this for over 2 years, you know, and I've tried my best to do it every single week, multiple times a week if need be. And I don't know, sometimes you just kind of hit a fucking wall a little bit, you know? Do you switch up the branding? Do we keep the Big Kids Podcast as it is and we start talking about some other shit on a different channel under a different brand? I don't know. You know, we do have High Sports with C. Willie and Duff, and that can be a whenever type of thing because it has to do with sports in general, not one specific sport. But even doing that on top of this shit gets tiring, guys. I'm telling you. It's not back-breaking work, but it's time-consuming work. you know, to upload this shit, to edit this shit, to do this and that, and make sure this is okay and that's okay. And I'm using the word okay instead of great because sometimes all you're gonna get is fucking okay, you know. And maybe it's because this is a one-man band. You know, maybe it's because I got to do all the editing, I got to do all the uploads. It's really the upload process that fucking sucks. The editing doesn't even really bother me. It's the upload. For whatever fucking reason, that it really irritates me. Writing in the description and it's all fucking tedious bullshit. But I am trying to take a different outlook on how I'm approaching things in life in general. You know, we're going to talk about the new Pokemon game in a little bit, but my desire to play video games over the past year has greatly decreased. I had the ability to buy a PlayStation 5 the other day, and I'm like, I don't even really play it. I don't really fucking play games like that to be like, yeah, you know what? I'll drop fucking $600-700 on top of this new TV I got and all the Christmas fucking presents I bought. Yeah, let's do that. But if I was really playing it, I would have done it. You know, so I think that moment right there told me that, motherfucker, we gotta reorganize how we're spending our day. You know, because my whole thing was I want to be done with whatever the fuck I got to be done with by around 5-ish. If it varies some days, whatever. But by 5-6 o'clock, I want to be sitting down in my chair playing video games. That's how I've always approached my adult fucking life for about 8-9 years. That's how I've approached things, and that was because I really enjoy playing fucking video games. And now it's like, all right, I enjoy doing like old man shit. Like young version of old man shit. Like I love sitting here and organizing these fucking Pokemon cards. And I don't get it. I don't understand why I like to do it so much, but I enjoy it. I put something on the fucking TV and I sit over here. I got this collector app and I just add my shit and I just look and see how it's trending. And so I don't know, at this moment in time, that's what I fucking enjoy doing. You know, if you can't see, the YouTube page has been pretty much pack openings. And I think maybe that's why I'm rethinking how I approach this podcast. You know, I do want to get away from politics, and I have definitely gotten a lot further away from politics than where this show started. So that makes me think, you know, when this show first started, it was pandemic, it was politics. Then we started talking about fucking UFC. Then we started talking about whatever the fuck it is that I wanted to talk about. And then it was having guests on and talking about what they got going on. So I'm trying to figure out, do I keep the one page and keep doing everything under that one brand, under the Big Kids Podcast? Do I do the interviews with guests? Do I do the pack openings? Do I do whatever the fuck it is that I'm talking about on a week-to-week basis? Do I continue to do that under this one brand? You know, and I don't know, it's difficult. You know, difficult on the mind at least, because you're like, how do you want to do this? Where do you want to get in at? You know, and I don't know, guys. I'm trying to think here, thinking out loud again, because I don't really have much to fucking bitch to you guys about. And because the things that I usually bitch to you guys about, I'm just fucking tired of it. You know, I'm tired of fucking having to point out the same shit week after week after week that Trump's doing, that the Republicans are doing. But sometimes I feel like going off about it. You know, I don't want to do it all the fucking time, but sometimes I feel like doing that. And I know I've talked about it in the past, and I've done one where it was a semi-scripted episode. It was the UFC Top 15. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's on Spotify. It's on SoundCloud. It's on YouTube. The YouTube has the visual aspect to it. But like that was fun. I'm not gonna lie, but it's weird. I don't like doing that fucking script shit, man. I don't like that. That's why I keep that type of shit to a minimum. I think it's something that I could get good at, but I don't think it's something that I really ever want to get good at. I don't want to get good at fucking reading promos, man. I don't. It just feels so phony and fake to me, and I think that's why. And the reason that I got on this podcast to begin with was to be authentic. You know, I think I give you guys like 99.7% authenticity on a week-to-week basis. Leave myself a little fucking room to be fake and try to go off on promos and shit like that, but it's pretty authentic on a week-to-fucking-week basis with me. You know, when it comes to really whatever the hell I'm thinking about at that time. Sorry, let me take a sip. So I don't know, should I just leave the episodes to when I have guests on? You know, I have put together enough episodes where I could do that. Now, should I do that? That's different, you know? Do I keep putting out the podcast episodes week after week after week? Do I cut them down? You know, instead of aiming for 45 minutes to an hour, do I give them, you know, 22 minutes, 25 minutes, the length of an episode or something? Because again, my newest episodes are never the most listened to. It's always some old shit. So do I do that and give people time to catch up? And I don't know. I really wish I would have went to school for this shit. You know, I truly wish I would have went to fucking school to learn how to do this shit the proper way instead of winging it every week. You know, I enjoy winging it every week because it comes very natural to me, but there were just, if I knew how to go about promoting without feeling like I'm fucking selling my soul, because I think that's what it is. I feel like it's corny. It's corny. I've been watching WWE lately with the one kid that I work with, and while I'm surprised of how much enjoyment I do get out of it, because I'm not gonna lie, I enjoy it. I'm interested in the storyline and whatever, but it feels very much like a soap opera. You know, it feels super corny. Everything about it is so fucking corny. I feel like I'm watching porn stars act. I feel like I'm watching, like, okay, guys, let's get to it. let's get to it. Why are we still talking? You sound like shit. That's how I feel every week. They're so bad, but I'm so fucking interested in what's happening next, and I don't want to be that cornball. Now, do I need to get the fuck over that and just commit to, like, doing what the fuck needs to be done, or do you stay true to yourself? Me personally, my vote is stay true to your fucking self, especially when you're doing all right. You know, I don't gotta sell my soul for shit. Life is good. After this, I got a 14 pack of Pokemon cards from Sam's, and some shit that I thought was lost in the mail got here too. I got some packs of Pokemon cards to open. I get to organize them after, and life is fucking good. You know, my bills are paid. I'm still looking at my paychecks and being like, all right, you know, that raise we got at the beginning of, was it this year, last year, beginning of 2022? I'm like, all right, that was cool, you know, that was cool. Getting the hours that I need at work, everything is good. So I don't want to be a bitchin' moaning motherfucker. Life's fucking good, man. Life could be a lot fucking worse. And I'm telling you, I throughout life, there's certain things, certain sayings that I take from people and I incorporate it into my own life. And I really truly believe the one that I will always keep with me from Rich is that we spend a lot of time bitching and complaining. Again, this isn't exactly how he said it. We're working around it, and then we're gonna hit the center of it. All right. Rich always says Americans have a lot of time on their hands. So that's why they get to be so upset about shit that doesn't really matter. You know, and that's the truth. When things are going so well for you, I think it's just human nature to fucking want to bitch and complain about your circumstances. No matter what, rich, poor, and wherever the fuck you're at, you're always gonna feel worse about your situation than your situation actually is. You know, and I think that's because hate it, love it, whatever the fuck you want to say, America is the best place on the whole entire fucking planet to live, because the problems that most of us have are very first world. Very first world. Oh, my car's broke. Okay, that fucking sucks. That sucks. No one wants to deal with that. The shit blows. But meanwhile, I'm watching that trailer for what's that movie, Swimmer or whatever, on Netflix, and it's based on a true story, and that's why I'm bringing it up. These little girls, these high school students in Syria, are having a swim competition, and outside of where they're fucking swimming, there's an all-out war going on. That's fucked up. None of us got to deal with that shit. You know, so you gotta really fucking think before you start, like, openly bitching to other people, especially if you're not even gonna put it into context. Like, hey, listen, you know what, I need a minute here, I'm gonna be real unreasonable, but I know I'm being unreasonable, but I'm gonna bitch real quick. I think if you say that, I don't think that gives you carte blanche to just fucking say and do whatever you want for however long you feel like doing it. But there's that understanding out there that, like, I understand that this really isn't a problem in the grand scheme of things. But I personally would feel a lot better if I just fucking got to bitch about it. Hey. Listen, I've told you guys from Jump Street on this podcast, the things that we bitch about, the things that we talk shit about, we always try to put a qualifier before a lot of this shit. And I don't give a fuck. I'm not searching for wow statements. I'm not searching for fucking bulletin board material. We put prereqs before the shit talk that we say. Like the other week when Izzy got his ass beat. Listen, nah, but respect for the dude. I don't gotta fucking like you and kiss your ass and all that. That doesn't mean that you're good or not fucking good. You would definitely beat my ass, but you got your ass beat the other week. You know? Of course, if I saw you in fucking person, I would be fucking starstruck because you are a bad motherfucker. But you still got your ass kicked the other week. And I wanted to talk about this last week, and this was like really the only thing I wanted to talk about, so that's why I didn't come on. But that fight was fucking nuts, and that is honestly what makes MMA, in my opinion, my favorite fucking sport. I've found a second love for football this past year. Excuse me. But MMA there's nothing like it. There is honestly, truly nothing like it. It's not boxing. Boxing's not like it. Football's not like it. I'm very much enjoying hockey. My Kraken are fucking doing their thing. I did a very good job of picking a team for my first year that nobody fucking, thought they were going to do anything, and they still might not do anything, but they're 13-5-3 or some shit like that right now, so they're doing well. But anyway, there's nothing like MMA. And to go back to circumstances and thinking you have it rough and this and that, listen, when you're the champion for as long as Izzy was the champion, which isn't like the longest of all time or anything like that, but he's been the champion for a couple years now, you get comfortable. A couple years, you get comfortable in how things go, how your day-to-day goes, how your workouts go, what's going on at home. These are things that you all get comfortable with. Even if you're not the fucking champion. You could be Joe Schmo that works at fucking McDonald's. You fall into a routine. You fall into a routine where okay, this is what I expect. This is what I expect. Now, the problem with that is there's gonna be people that don't give a fuck about none of that. They're not gonna give a fuck about how long you've been champion, where you're from, what you've done. There's gonna be people that simply do not give a fuck. And I think Alex Pereira was one of those dudes the other week. He simply just did not give a fuck. He beat Izzy twice in kickboxing before. He beat him by decision and knocked him out. He's done that. In his circumstances, even though I'm sure Izzy has been through some shit, he's had malaria and all that other shit, But Alex's people are from the jungle. Like, straight up jungle of Brazil. They speak their own language. They fucking operate in their own fucking sphere of things. And do you think that this man's desire to beat Izzy wasn't fucking through the roof? He already beat him twice. He saw the fame and the money that was coming to Izzy. Last year, it was reported Izzy had the most lucrative UFC contract in fucking history or some shit like that. You know, do you think Alex, knowing that he beat this man twice, doesn't want those things too? And you could tell, listen, again, Izzy's no bitch. He isn't. I have more respect for him after that last fight than I have in any fight since he's fought Kelvin Gastelum. And I think more so now because I think Alex is better than Kelvin. But anyway, the look in those men, in both of those men's eyes coming out to there, you could tell one was comfortable because he's been here before, and the other one didn't give a fuck. He was not worried. He was not nervous. And yes, he did get beat probably 3 of the first 4 rounds. Maybe even 4 out of the first 4 rounds. You know? But when it was time to answer that bell, Izzy thought that this was just a normal day. Izzy thought, I'm just going to cruise through this. It's no biggie. I'm going to leg kick. I'm going to throw out this little jab. I'm going to move around. And I'm going to win this championship. And Alex said, fuck it. When you watch somebody in a fight, and you're like, guys, there's fucking 2 minutes left. Just leave it out there. I think that's a lot easier said than done. You know, if you've ever played any type of sport, you know that. Pushing it that last 30 seconds, that's why they try to make it a thing during practices. You got 20 seconds left, push it. Because when it comes time to actually do it, you want to possibly be able to do that. Just because you didn't practice don't mean that you're going to be able to do it when it's fucking prime time. So you practice it, so hopefully you have an opportunity to try to do it later. That's exactly what Alex did. Alex said, fuck it. I got 1 round left. I'm losing. I know I'm losing. My coaches told me I'm losing. Let's leave it out here. And while his mindset was probably thinking about where the fuck he came from, his fucking grandparents that probably don't speak a fucking lick of anything besides what the native language is there, and just trying to help people from back fucking home, yes, that was what was going through his fucking mind. Because I don't believe he probably got paid a shit ton. I don't believe he probably got paid a shit ton for the fight against Izzy, but the next fight he will. And then going forward, even if he loses the title, he's going to be a premium fucking dude for at least a couple fights. You know, and especially if you put him up against a striker. And his grappling gets better and things like, he's going to be a premium fight. He put himself in fucking position to be a premium. He will never, well, I shouldn't say never because never's a long fucking time. In the next 3-4 years, if he continues to fight at the UFC, he will not be anything less than that 3rd fight out on a big ass card. And that's a big ass card. If it's a fight night or just a normal pay-per-view, he's going to be co-main main event. But if it's some big shit, he'll be that 3rd fight out. But that's it. He ain't going back to no fucking prelims, man. And that is what he did for himself. Izzy thought shit was cute. Izzy thought shit was sweet. He lost fucking focus for a minute, and he got fucking beat up, standing TKO. Now everybody's complaining, oh, they should have let it go any longer. Listen, we all gotta be real about this. Anyhow we wanted Izzy to ever fight again, or be the same Izzy, I should say, not ever fight again, be the same Izzy, it was probably good that they called that right there. We did not need to see homeboy with his eyes rolled back into the back of his head and fucking stuck on the ground, glued to the fucking ground. We didn't need to see that, because if we would have saw that, Izzy's whole entire career would have been different. He still has a chance to get back and get that belt. If he did that, that's that type of shit that we saw with like a Dominic Reyes. You know, listen, Dominic Reyes lost the fight to John Jones. Again, up for debate if he lost it. I personally believe Dominic Reyes won rounds 1, 2. I think round 3 that's one of those rounds. You know, you can't get mad if you win it or you lose it, because it was that fucking close. And he definitely lost rounds 4 and 5. He definitely lost rounds 4 and 5. So he loses that fight, and then he goes and gets knocked out by Jan. Then he goes and gets brutally knocked out by Yuri. Then he brutally gets fucking punched in the face by Ryan Spann. He's lost 4 in a row. After that first brutal knockout to Jan, his shit has never been the same, man. After Yuri fucking gets hit him with a fucking fatality for Mortal Kombat 4, he has not been the same. The dude got knocked out with a jab. The same guy that a lot of people think beat John Jones got knocked out with a fucking jab. So this is the thing. And we're talking about like knocked out cold. We're talking about knocked the fuck out the past 3 times, really. He wasn't out cold against Jan, but it was close. And he was out cold against Yuri, and his ass was knocked the fuck out the other week. So you don't want those types of knockouts that happen to you, is long story short. If your ass is about to go down and you're gonna, you want that last, come on, man, stop it. I think that's something that you say for the newspapers. That's something that you say because you want to be a tough guy, and I get all that. But motherfucker, you know damn well you're happy that fight got called when it got called. You know damn well. Alright, guys, like I said, we're gonna keep these a little fucking shorter, and I'm sorry for the quick switch up, but how do I want to do this? Because I do want to play you guys Last Week in Republican, but I don't think I even really want to fucking talk about politics this week. It is very fucking funny, though. These guys are fucking something else. But anyway, I wanted to talk to you guys about the Pokemon game before we got out of here. The new Scarlet and Violet. Now, I think there is a lot to be said about this Pokemon game. I think there's a lot to be excited about, and I think there's just as much, if not more, to be upset about. Now, I feel like what Pokemon does is they use other games as prototypes for other shit, for future things. So I think they used Arceus. Honestly, this is what blows my fucking mind. You would think, and the way that it feels, unless you're really thinking about it, is that you would think that they used Pokemon Arceus as a blueprint, as a prototype for Scarlet and Violet. But it feels flip-flopped. It feels like Scarlet and Violet are the trial run, the prototype, the this is how we should do things, and Arceus was the final product. That's exact. You can't tell me any different about that. You know, the frame rate, Penguin Zero, Moist Critical was complaining about the frame rate, and at first I did not notice. I did not notice that you can't see shit a certain distance away, and fucking the NPCs are all blocky when they're walking, and those things aren't necessarily huge problems. But at this point in where we're at with things, where we're at with Pokemon, that's why it's a problem. You know, like, this Pokemon game should not look like a lesser version of Zelda Breath of the Wild. It should be at the very least up to par with Zelda Breath of the Wild. It shouldn't be choppy. It shouldn't be skipping. The frame rate should not be doing that for a game that costs $60. That's just what that is. You know, there's really no I don't think there really needs to be any further explanation on that. But at the same time, they have the cool thing like auto battle, so you don't got to go into every fucking battle with a wild Pokemon if you're just trying to get the XP. That's fucking cool. You know, having a Pokemon that can fly you around and all that. Again, I thought that Arceus would have been the blueprint and they would have made it better on Scarlet and Violet. It feels backwards. Again, it feels like Arceus was the running on the back of the fucking deer Pokemon or whatever the fuck it was, and flying and swimming on a all of that felt good, but it could have been better. You know, all of that could have been smoother. The motion, the speed, all of that could have been I thought was going to be ironed out for this new game. It's not necessarily what happened. Now, I don't even know, I'm on my second or third gym badge because there is a lot going on and it's kind of empty in terms of, I don't mind the open world and you know, you go where you want and you finish the game how you want and you can go over here before you go over there. I like all that stuff. But what I don't like is there's a whole bunch of open space and there's random trainers within that space. So it's not like you can hit like trainers in a row. Like, you got to explore this whole entire fucking area and you can't see too far ahead of you to see if there's even a trainer there or not. So you got to kind of explore this whole wide open area and you might run into a fucking trainer. I don't like that. I like knowing, okay, I see 5 fucking trainers, boom, 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 boom. You know, it might be a little while before you hit some more, but they're all right there, so I don't gotta fucking explore this whole entire map looking for 3-4 fucking trainers in one area. I don't like that shit. But yeah, I think it's a fine game. I would I would have felt better if it was a $39.99 game, in all honesty. I don't think it's better than Let's Go Pikachu. I think Let's Go Pikachu, it's very simple, it's bare bones, but I think they did it very well. My favorite of all time is still, you know, Gold and Silver, Soul Silver, Heart Gold. Those are still my favorite ones, and I feel like they need to revisit that. Listen, I would pay $100 for a Switch version of Pokemon Silver. I would. If you did it like you did Let's Go Pikachu, I'd have no problem. If you did it like Sword and Shield, I'd have no problem. I just feel like there was a lot of big ideas for Scarlet and Violet, but there wasn't a lot of execution going behind it. There's no way in the world Sword and Shield should be a smoother game. The gameplay shouldn't be smoother. The movement shouldn't be smoother. That shit came out a couple years ago. So I'm just critiquing it because I love them. You know, I've always loved Pokemon games. I don't even know all the names of the Pokemon because I kind of just like block out the ones that I really don't give a fuck about. Even when collecting all these cards, I just block out the ones that I don't give a fuck about. But I do love the formula, the basic formula. But you guys, all you gaming companies, if you're charging us $60, $70, $80 for your game, it should be complete. We should not be getting major updates throughout the year, throughout 2 years of having the game. That should not be how things are going. You want to do DLC, you want to add more maps, you want to add more this, that. That's cool, that's fine. Stop releasing games that have major bugs in them still. Stop releasing games that just are not ready to be released. Fuck this timetable. Oh, we got to get it out by Thanksgiving. We got to get it out before Christmas. Guys, you're sending us fucked up games. You're sending us games that are not, I should say not fun to play, because they still are fun to play, but they don't retain our attention because they're so sloppily made. There's no reason why I've had Scarlet for as long since the release, and I only got 2 fucking gym badges. Because I'm just like, I'll get to it when I'm bored later. No, that shit would be on the top of my fucking priority list. No matter if I was feeling of video games at the time or not, Pokemon always brought me back. Pokemon always made me want to play some fucking video games. But what I'm telling you, what you guys really need to do, I don't understand. I don't even care. Give me a fucking adapter piece that hooks up to my fucking DS so I can play Soul Silver on a big fucking screen TV. How are you guys not doing these things? And I know that you know about them. Yeah, I don't know. I got everything. See, This is what I'm talking about. These are the things that are concerning me this week. Very first world. There's some political shit that's a hot fucking mess, but what else is new? We all know that already, right? We all know they're all full of fucking shit and don't give a fuck about no one but themselves. Most of them, the majority of them. So I don't even feel like going into that this week because I got a big ass box of fucking Pokemon cards and a nice fucking Pokemon Go tin to open, and that's exactly what the fuck I'm gonna do. And I'm gonna organize them, and I'm gonna have a good fucking time doing it. So with that said, guys, be safe, be easy, wash your ass. I'll catch you next week. Peace.